Video games. They're probably like the most popular pastime in the whole world. There's thousands, maybe millions of different games with unique concepts, features, stories, you name it, there's a game for it. They let us explore some of our wildest dreams that we couldn't even fathom to do in real life. Yet, sometimes I'm playing one and I can't help but think, man, I could do this better. Turns out, but more on that later. Now, keeping that in mind, over a year ago, I was talking to my buddy Drew in class one day, and we decided,
I think we should get like a game, dude.
Drew had a ton of experience with programming, and I knew a little bit about 3D animation, so it seemed like, yeah, this is gonna work out great. But there's a little bit more to it than that. Okay, so now that I've done a little introduction thing, where I'm like, here, look at my game, I'm all professional, catch your attention, kind of thing, where I'm all formal, and I'm gonna be a little bit more casual now, be like, hey, look at my game, you know how it is. Something really quick to note that if you didn't pick up earlier about is that Drew is on the programming side of things, and I'm doing the animation stuff. So this episode's mostly gonna be about animation, and then we'll catch up with like a little bit more coding at the end, and then in the next episode. Okay, let's do this. So I had like a basic idea of what the game was gonna be about. I don't really want to share everything quite yet, so just know it's fantasy and open world. Also had a pretty good idea about what the art style was gonna follow, and that comes mostly from a time when I was still making Minecraft animations way back in the day, and a bunch of people that I followed on Twitter who I thought were my friends, but really they didn't know me, but it's okay. They started transitioning away from Minecraft. I was like, whoa, that looks so cool. And they would make these little poly type renders. And I thought that looked good. And I was always like, man, I wish I could explore a world like that. So thus, I wanted the characters to match the environment that I was going to go for. I hadn't made the environment yet, but I knew what I wanted the environment to look like, so I needed the characters to look like the environment that I wanted the characters to look like, you know? Yeah? Okay. Originally, I was like, Minecraft? No. Right? Like, no. No. And so I drew a couple sketches of what it would actually look like. I knew it couldn't be too advanced or fancy because making the entire world match that would be too big of a task for one little boy. And I am one little boy. So really this is based around three main things. Pixel Pit, who did a couple of Game Grumps animations that I'd seen a while ago. And I always really loved his art style. And then, of course, Animal Crossing. I like the little arms, the way that they twiddle twaddle. And then also Pop Figures, which... Where did he go? I only have one, but you get the idea. Began working on this guy, and I really liked the way it came out. I really haven't made any changes to the basic character design. I would like to note that this character is like sort of the mascot for the game. So I really want to have customizability, customizability. I want to have customizability. Custom characters, so you can design your own characters. So I guess the next step that I took was I started working on the enemy. He's kind of evolved a little bit, but you can see that I really sort of had the same idea of where this character was going to come from. You know where the idea came from. So do I. I know. I'm sorry. Honestly, I kind of just wanted a goblin-looking character, or even the gremlin is what I mostly based off from the modeling. And so I hope that because goblins are so common in medieval worlds that it won't be too big of an issue. But let's be real here. We know what it looks like. Things were going great. Skewing the body, fixing the head, doing all this stuff, rigging these characters, making all these things. And then it hit me. I can't use Maya. See, the program I was using, called Maya, is very expensive. and I was using the student version. The student version, you can't make money off of it. I need money. I'm in college. I'm broke. Because I didn't have the actual version, I wasn't able to use it for modeling and making my game. So I had to find something else. I have always used Maya. Like since I was 10 years old, I've been using Autodesk Maya because it's just what I liked. It worked the best for me, and I just liked it. I just thought it was the best software out there. I had tried other softwares like Cinema 4D out. The main one is Blender. And Blender, what I remember it being was blah. I mean, this thing was nasty. I didn't know how to animate in it. It was so ugly. There was so much. I don't know how people used it. Blender recently had an update. I think it's number 2.8, something like that. And it's changed the game, baby. I mean, new, good stuff. Real good stuff. It has so many features that Maya even doesn't even have. Like texture painting and an engine, like 2D texture making. I think I haven't used this. But the best part is the sculpting. It's so red. So red. So red. To make this transition easier, I use a nice little thing made by this guy named Jesse Doyle, who makes Blender basically look more like Maya. Blender originally it looks but look at Maya's background and then look at Blender's background, and then I'd have to learn new hotkeys, and we don't want all that. Time efficiency. So this made the transition super easy. So now we're back on track, making enemies, weapons, ambient models, world building, all sorts of cool stuff. I began work on some environmental models, and a lot of them are based on some adventures that I got to have with Drew and some of my other friends playing D&D, which was a very new thing for me, and it was definitely great to be able to be a part of that and sort of understand where a lot of this fantasy culture has developed over the years. I think other than rigging the character models, the biggest project I undertook was a little village, and it looked pretty good. I was really proud of it at the time. It fit exactly what I wanted to do. Every time I come back to it, I'm like, wow, this holds up way better than I thought. I eventually realized that villages aren't flat. The ground in games isn't flat. So I kind of had to scrap it. I could use some of the models, but I couldn't use, the layout or whatever. It was definitely very time consuming, so it kind of stunk to have to just throw a lot of this away. All was going good in the modeling department. In the game development department, Drew was doing some stuff that looked pretty cool. Like our character was moving, slashing swords even. There was an enemy, there's a chest. Dude, it looked so cool. I was so excited. But development began to slow. Life got very busy for both me and Drew. Both of us were applying for college at the time, and Drew ended up dropping out of the project. And I forgive him. Like, it's totally cool. I get it. I was super busy, and I was going through the same thing as him. That end of high school period is just really tough for everybody. So don't blame him at all. But I was in too deep. I was going to figure out how to finish this game on my own. I was going to do it. But then it hit me. I have no idea how to code. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching and making it this far. If you liked the video, go ahead and like. And also, if you want to see more about this project, go ahead and subscribe. I think it'll help a lot. That's what everybody says. I have so much more to share with you guys. This video barely even scratches the surface of this project, and I'm really excited to get into the mesh and show you guys the actual game development, because this was more of an animation vlog than game development. But I needed to set everything up and let you guys know how the heck I got where I am. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully.